Woo! There's been a lot of leaks today, so my video had to change up a little bit. Let's talk about Everfest. Well, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to KitchenTableTCG. I hope you are having yourself a fantastic day. I hope that you're finding these spoilers and leaks exciting for the new set of Everfest. Real quick, we still have some hats available if you like the KitchenTableTCG hats. Go on over to KitchenTableTCG.com where you can see those. I gotta get rid of them. They're sitting in my closet. Anyway, let's talk about Everfest. Let's talk about the spoiler season. Let's talk about the set a little bit. Now we've kind of, if you've been following, so I don't want to, I had to change the way I wanted to do this video because I don't want to spoil anything for you that has not supposed to have been officially spoiled. I had a couple conversations with some people last night when the Fable got spoiled. And people were like, man, I wish I didn't see it. I like trying to open it. I like watching the community open it. So it was kind of a disappointment thing for some people. I don't particularly care. I like knowing what's gonna come, but I didn't want to ruin it for you. So just so you know, straight off the bat, I am gonna talk about some of the cards, but I'm not gonna talk about specifics. I'm gonna be a little bit vague. So those of you who don't want anything to spoil, you should just stop watching this video, click away, leave me alone, go move on to something else. But those of you who want to discuss it a little bit, I'm not going to ruin anything. And those of you who want to actually talk about the actual cards, you can probably understand what I'm saying in this video. So I want to talk about Everfest as a whole right now. The set is a supplemental set, and it has like 40 Majestics. So it's going to change a lot of the meta. It's going to shift things around and change all the stuff that we're used to. And we have seen some incredible, the new Bravo, we've seen some incredibly powerful cards that are going to shape and define the next metas. We've seen some cards, some equipment slot cards that are going to replace old equipment and new equipment, and there's a lot of excitement. We've seen the full art cold foils. It'll be really interesting to see, and what we don't know, I don't think yet, is are those full art cold foils just the cold foils, or are they extended art versions of the cold foils? It'll be super. If you look at Rampart of the Ram's Head, a lot of them are in that same frame from Tales of Aria, and that one does not have a regular non-full art version. I'm very curious to see if some of these full art cold foils that we're seeing are going to have a non-full art cold foil and a regular full art cold foil, because it'll be super interesting. That would give some added value or some more rarity. It'd be really interesting to see that. All in all, the set, it seems like some of the heroes or some of the classes are getting really, like Guardian is getting these incredibly, you guys saw the specific cards that were revealed last night. They're getting really strong cards. And then some of the classes are just like, they're not getting that support. I believe, and I've not done playtesting, but I've been trying to follow along with a couple other people who have been doing a lot of playtesting, that Guardian is going to be a hero that, man, if you want to play it seems like it's going to be a top tier deck. And so for some of the other heroes, you may have to go learn and play Guardian. It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with the ProQuest season coming up so quickly, and to see the amount of time that people have to get these cards in their hands and play test. And I think ProQuest season is just gonna be a complete I love it. It's gonna be a chaotic mess of like people trying to figure out what the meta is gonna be, and I think there's gonna be some excitement for them. I also think, and I personally am excited about that, I also think there's a couple other people who are like, man, I don't know how to play that. I don't know how to do that. And so it's going to be an interesting dynamic in the community when you get to these ProQuest seasons. The Carnival slot, I've kind of been, there's a couple people who have been live opening it on different Discords. And I've just been kind of following along with the chat. They've just been doing it in a chat. And it seems like there's not like reprints. It seems like, I think I called this that it wasn't going to be a reprint set in that Carnival slot. There's no evidence for this yet. There could still be a lot of spoiler stuff that hasn't happened yet. It does not appear that Command and Conquer is getting a reprint though, which is super interesting. A lot of people thought that it was going to be in that Carnival slot to get some of those cards into the hands of people. So there's a lot of those question marks. It seems like the carnival slot is these like trinkets and potions and amulets and all that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see how used those are. Are those going to define the game of Flesh and Blood, or are they going to be kind of more like the the Tales of Aria? What was the I can't even think what they are because I don't use them. The amulets. The amulets? Yeah, I just want to look. The amulets, they didn't really define anything, so it'll be really interesting to see if that slot produces anything else special that we haven't seen yet whenever we see these box openings and things. Meanwhile, you've got a lot of pre-orders happening. You've got TCG Player. There's a TCG Player link in the comment section of in the description of my videos. You got TCG Player that's doing this bundle deal, 2 boxes plus a playmat. So the pre-order prices are pretty reasonable. I think that was $210. You get a really cool playmat and then the 2 boxes. And then you've got Fireball that's doing this massive deal. You get a whole case of Everfest plus another booster box, plus I think some free grading from whatever, and so there's a lot of the boxes seem to be being picked up but also readily available. It's going to be really interesting to see how the EV shakes out, but I think what Everfest has going for it and what I love about supplemental sets and what I think is really important to understand about a supplemental set is those majestics, that high number of majestics, 50 or 40 majestics in the set. You get 6 per box. It's going to take a lot of boxes in order for you to open the specific cards that you want. Some people are just going to buy singles. Some people are going to mass open boxes. It'd be really interesting to see. We've seen Crucible of Wars EV hold up much better than WTR and ARC, even to some degree to the newer sets as well, even with that kind of discrepancy in the number of majestics you get per box. So it's going to be really interesting to watch the EV of this set. It's going to be really interesting to kind of evaluate where the market is. We still don't know what's going on with Unlimited. I know distribution had pre-orders for it, but I don't. We haven't had any announcement from LSS regarding when that is coming out. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Unlimited on the back end of first edition and see how long it takes that to reach the market, because obviously that does, we've seen, affect the value of the cards on the market. There is not currently a very big difference between Unlimited and first edition in terms of the majestics. You get a little bit of a difference when you get to the majestic rainbow foils, and then a bigger but still a little bit of a difference even between the rainbow foil legendaries and the cold foil legendaries, but it's still very early in the Tales of Aria and Monarch kind of world. But anyway, lots of conversations. All in all, this set looks like a lot of fun, and I like that it's going to completely shake up the metas. I like that it's going to produce these new decks that haven't been able to like hop on top. You've got some really cool Ranger cards. I'm not sure Azalea's gotten the support that Azalea people want, but Lightning Lexi, that new card that's like I don't want to spoil anything. I don't even know what is an official spoiler and what is not an official spoiler at this point. There's been so many cards flopping around, but that new Ranger card that's like 3, I think you can shoot 3 arrows or whatever, like that's super good. It's going to change the way that Ranger plays, and it's going to become a staple, and there's a lot of those kind of new staples for these new these classes. I think that's really interesting. And then on top of that, like we haven't really seen any talent-specific cards, other than the Guardian in Bravo, but we haven't seen a ton of talent-specific cards. So these cards are all going to interact with everything. So just like Crucible of War, where the set interacted with everything and it had a better financial EV, this set is interacting with everything, and I feel like the singles are going to do pretty well, or at least hold up better on the market than WTR and Arcane Rising did for the Unlimited print run. Obviously the first edition stuff was all different and crazy, and the game was in a much different spot back then, but now that we have these updated print runs and whatever, and seeing the latest sets, it's going to be really interesting to see how a supplemental set holds out, and if the cards are really as powerful as everybody's talking about, or if they're really as weak as there's like a lot of divides, right? There's people who see a couple cards and like, oh, that's super powerful, but then they see the rest of the set and they're like, oh, that's not super powerful. So it's gonna be really interesting to see where we land. I know this, I'm excited to do some box openings. Patrons, we just did 20 box openings, so those will be coming out over the next couple of weeks as we get product, and then, you know, as its official launch comes out. It'll be a lot of fun to watch the box openings and to feel the packs. I'm really excited about the biodegradable packs and to evaluate the difference between that and a regular pack. Lots of cool things to see. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll talk to you again later.